Da, 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 da. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cult Classic Society, the podcast
Hi,
where
Mr.
we have made
Martini.
so many Simpsons references. We've made so many Simpsons references. We've talked about the show before, and today we're just going to talk about the movie we both love. But first, Bobby, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm great. Great. Time is flying by this year. January moved like a slug. February didn't. I don't. Did we have a February this year? It went so fast. I don't
No,
know.
no, no. We passed that
Mar-
by. Yeah.
March is basically over. I don't know. This year's flying by. Let's talk about the Simpsons.
I am. I'm so excited that we actually get to talk about this, and obviously, oh, I picked it, so yeah. But
I'd
what
love for you to
was
come on
your
one day.
reaction?
I'd love for you to come on one day and go, I picked this, but I fucking hate it.
I mean, did that with Evil Dead's remake, but
Yeah,
we
but
digress.
it was in
What?
the like a pantheon of stuff you love. Like it was just like a blip in the history of your favorite franchise.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But, what was your reaction when this movie was announced? Because I
When it
remember
was
the
an
initial trailer, right?
so I think I yeah, I've
Like
got
the
this in my
initial trailer
notes.
when it was just Homer and Bart.
Yeah, so in my notes I've got this. This was announced when I was in college, and we were told I was doing film studies as one of my courses. We were told to mark the trajectory of an upcoming film to literally analyze, and it had to be released by before, I think it was before the end of the academic year, so we could literally mark from first trailer to release its process. And this was the trailer. I was like, well, it's obviously going to be the Simpsons movie. And for some reason I think I was the only one in my course who did it, but that first trailer sticks with me, the one where they're rethatching the roof because and Homer gets the hammer in his
Yeah.
eye, because I wrote about it. I wrote a side of essay about it. Then I can't even remember what the next trailer was. There was definitely a second trailer, and there was some other pre-launch stuff. But I wrote about this for college, like the pre-release for the movie.
Yeah, because I
Well,
remember going to the cinema and just seeing that trailer, and I was like, they're making a movie? Is that possible? A Simpsons movie?"
the one thing I did think was, I really
And
hope this doesn't suck, because the amount of TV to movie adaptations that suck really outweigh the good ones.
that is true. But I remember because I was like, God, I was like 8 when the trailer was announced.
No,
So
no, no, Tim. This movie didn't come out
I'm.
4 years ago. What are you talking about?
So I was very just like blown away by the fact that a TV show that I loved watching was getting a movie. I was like, well, I'm gonna go see it, obviously.
Yeah, this it was a. I remember it being a big deal to me, and then like three of my friends, and everyone else going like, "Ah, I don't watch Simpsons anymore." I'm like, "Well, you're missing out, you prick." I mean, I was still
No,
literally
everyone in my
I
school
was
was like hyped.
rewatching series 2 through 12. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't watching it much past that, but yeah, I'm determined this year to watch all of the Simpsons that I haven't watched, and I genuinely
So is that
think
like the teens onwards?
no. Well, I have watched up to 18. I have watched it, but I hadn't watched 19, and in the like the prep for this episode, I realised I basically stopped watching New Simpsons up to the movie, because
Really?
in the notes for this movie it says that the first episode after this, in the theme song, they're rebuilding the town for the events of the movie, and I
Yeah.
hadn't seen that, so I haven't watched from
Yeah, I
series
remember
19
seeing
onwards.
that when I was watching the show, and I was going, "Oh wow, they actually referenced the movie. It isn't something that they just like go, oh, that happened kind of thing. They actually like make a
Cat
nice little reference to
canonized
it
it.
in the title sequence."
Yeah. No, yeah, I
Yeah,
was very
exactly.
surprised as well. I hadn't realised how canonized it had been in the show. And the reason I started wanting to watch it again is because apparently I hear that the last two series are quite good. But I feel like I've got to do my due diligence and watch apparently the kind of between series 19 and 32, there's like 10 good episodes across the whole thing. So I need to.
Yeah, like I would say like the teen seasons for Simpsons, like there's more good than bad, but it's not like iconic.
I think like
But once you get to
13 to
like 19 to
18.
20,
I think we had this discussion in our other Simpsons episode, but I think like 13 to
yeah, we did.
18 has like a 50% hit rate, which is obviously much lower
Yeah,
than before. Yeah. Right, shall we talk about the actual movie rather than just drumming on about
yeah, I think we
our
should.
history and why we love and hate The Simpsons? Oh,
Yes, I
before we
think we
get
should.
started, for
And
everyone watching, I did a little Simpsons setup here. So you've got Devil Flanders, you've got Mr. Plow, and you've got Homer, or King Homer, and then you've got myself, David Francisco, and our friend Matt as Simpsons characters.
making use of the video format.
Hey, it's the first time I've actually done a custom. Apart from wearing like a relevant T-shirt, it's the first time I've done something in the background. So I've got to point it out. If you thought I was going to leave it and be subtle, you don't know me at all. You don't know me at all, Tim Martini.
Well, let's start talking about the movie, and I think this starts with one of the most iconic things in just cinema history,
Ralph.
which is Ralph. Yeah.
Ralph doing the fox. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Da, da, da. Every time I see a Fox movie now, I do it in the cinema.
You just hear Ralph in your head.
Yeah. Oh no, I do it out loud to my friends.
Hey, it's also not the only thing you do that pisses off your friends, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I am like behind the scenes commentary for movies in cinema.
Shut up, Tim. We're just trying to watch it.
But then we go from the Fox logo and it transitions to a moon landing. It's an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon.
It's such a good little Itchy and Scratchy cartoon. Immediately as well, as someone who hasn't watched any modern Simpsons, how good it looks. Yeah. The animation is beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's a thing that like a lot of like animated movies do, well shows do when they transfer to like movies, because it happened with Bob's Burgers as well.
They upgrade the animation.
They get like a special movie budget, and they put it to good use here. The film just looks so crisp.
Yeah, it looks great. And then we get Itchy killing Scratchy, obviously, with a flag. And we get our first reference to another media content when Itchy's back on Earth. They do the full like West Wing intro for President Itchy.
Yeah. Yeah, because Itchy becomes president, and I love that he does like the presidential convoy with two Jackie Kennedy like female Itchies next to him.
No inanimate carbon rod though.
No, because in this universe, everyone's more important, or he's too important. But I love then like Itchy's in the Oval Office, and all he hears is Itchy. He goes to the telescope, and what does he see? He sees Scratchy with a sign that says "I'm telling."
That's obviously Itchy and Scratchy is based on Tom and Jerry, but that is so Looney Tunes. That's Wile E. Coyote. Like, well,
yeah,
and then falling.
And then so Itchy devises a plan to get rid of Scratchy, and he just nukes the moon.
So there's a second media reference there. When the missiles are all flying at Scratchy, that's a reference to Hero, which is a 2002 Japanese movie.
Oh, okay.
And it's got all these, it's all bow and arrows, it's arrows in the movie, but the shot is like framed exactly the same.
It's just so perfect. And then as Scratchy gets blown up, Homer just rises in his seat, shouts, "Boring!"
Yeah, interrupts the movie.
They're watching the Itchy and Scratchy movie. But is this canonically the same Itchy and Scratchy movie from the show, or is this a sequel?
Must be the sequel.
It's a very short movie, Dan.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I assume it just goes on and on and on, but Homer wanted to leave.
Yeah. And then Homer says, "I can't believe people would watch something in the cinema that they'd watch for free. Everyone in the cinema is a giant sucker, including you."
And he points directly at the camera. And again, another nice piece of animation.
Yeah, and it just transitions to I like how they basically recreate the Simpsons intro, but obviously make it slightly grander.
Yeah, and then
Like,
they
I
do
don't think there's
the
anything else they could have done.
no. So the Simpsons intro is so iconic, and they do the whole The Simpsons, and then Frink comes by on his little flying machine. The movie.
On a big screen.
I love Frink. Frink's one of the best characters.
Oh, it's so great.
And we get kind of new. So it's the same sweeping through Springfield idea, but it's not the same. But they've not just redone the TV one. They've done new ones. So Smithers puts toothpaste on Burns' toothbrush, and the weight of the toothpaste makes him fall over.
We have Apu changing the expiry date from 2006 to 2008.
Which I think is a joke. I think that's because the movie was supposed to come out in 2006, and then it got delayed.
I could
If I remember right. It's something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin
And then it
gets
transitions.
Martin gets
Yeah,
used as a flag.
Yeah.
Did you
And then it
see
transitions to a concert, I was going to say.
in a new
Oh, yes.
episode of Shorts? I saw this online literally today. It turns out in a non-canon universe, Martin isn't a child. He is an undercover cop who's just very short.
Yeah.
Bart writes, "I will not illegally download this movie" on the board. And then
I did have a illegally downloaded copy on a burnt DVD until like the movie officially came out on DVD.
I saw this in a cinema twice, I think. And then I was a good boy, Tim. I waited for the DVD.
I loved it so much in cinema that, you know, I got an illegal copy and I just watched it repeatedly.
You're editing this episode, so on your head be it putting that out there, sunshine.
I don't have it. I don't have it anymore. I watched it on Disney Plus this time.
We get like a Rocky version of the theme song, and I forgot about this cameo.
You forgot about the Green Day cameo.
Yeah, and you get the theme song being played by a guitar, like electric guitar, and then the comic book guy crowd surfing, and then Billy Joe has so Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day has like a teleprompt, and it just says the lyrics, which is da 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 da. Da. It's so good.
It's amazing. And then what I love is like Green Day going, "Oh, we've been playing for 3.5 hours." Like, Christ. Was it just that one theme on repeat?
So I saw Green Day last year, and they were playing with Fall Out Boy and Weezer, and all three of those bands played in excess of an hour, and I think Green Day played 2 hours. It was insane.
Jesus. Because they then like Green Day go, "Oh, we know we want to talk about the environment," and Springfield just immediately turned on them.
Boom.
Trash, rocks, everything. And their like little barge is now sinking. So they do a Titanic reference.
I love that they're playing on a barge that starts to dissolve. Yeah, it starts to dissolve because the lake's so polluted. Yeah, and they get out their violins and play with the ship as it's going down.
And that's the exact same like shot as the Titanic as it sinks.
Yeah, and that's the next reference. Titanic, there's another movie reference.
And then it transitions to the church where they're playing the funeral version of American Idiot.
So good. Did you see what was on the side outside the church?
No, what does it say?
So there's always a gag on the church signs, isn't there? This one isn't that great, but it was, I think, probably apt for the time the movie came out, which is "Thou shalt turn off thy cell phone."
I think that was more perfect because it was obviously going to be in a cinema.
Yeah.
Reverend Lovejoy asks, he's like, "I'm going to call on one of you to like confess to everything." And Ned goes, "The Lord's asking me to confess to something." And Homer just goes, "Gay, gay, 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 gay."
You've jumped over. I mean, I know this is so gag heavy, but you've jumped over a couple of gags there. Me and you spoke about this, and you're like, "I'm going to focus on plot development." And I was like, "I'm going to write down every fucking gag that I think is brilliant." And Reverend Lovejoy first says, "For the latest rock band to die in our town," suggesting there's been several others.
I mean, Spinal Tap has.
Yes, Spinal Tap died there. And the Simpsons arrive late at church, and Homer's like blaspheming outside. He's like, "The phony baloney god." And then when they all start cheering him, he's like, "Praise Jeebus."
So
Bart starts playing a game called Baby Blast on his Game Boy, and Maggie like takes it away from him, which is so funny. But yeah, then we get to that top gag, very 2000, like mid 2000s, the Homer being
yeah,
like gay, 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 and also,
it's
isn't it like he's like, oh, I have a sense of pride in my community and Lovejoy. I
like
love the recurring thing through the whole series of Lovejoy hating Ned, who is the most devout Christian. It's so funny.
yeah. He goes, someone else. So then the light of the god possesses Grandpa, and he goes on a manic episode where he's basically
Oh.
speaking of horrible things that are going to happen.
He does the
And
Zoidberg.
while that's happening, he does. As that's happening, Lisa's asking Dad to help, and he's just like looking through the Bible, going, "This book doesn't have any answers."
That's such a good joke. Homer rolls Abe up
So
in the carpet.
yeah, on the. And then as soon as they're in the car, like it's like, "Who wants ice cream?" And then everyone goes, "I do." Eve and Grandpa.
I love how they all want to ignore the rant that Abe had, apart from Marge.
Yeah, the one rational person in this episode right now.
She says something like, "Oh, what's the point of going to church every week if we actually write off the one religious experience?" And there's a silence, and Abe goes, "I want bananas on my waffles." So good.
There's also the bit where like Holmes like a certain someone had a senior moment, but we love him and we got a free rug out of him.
Oh.
And then as they pull up to the waffle place, they leave Abe in the car, and then Holmes
Still-
like, "Oh right," and then he just turns the window down slightly like he's a dog.
He's still wrapped up in the carpet, bless him. Poor. Sometimes, like, he was clearly an awful father to Homer, but sometimes I feel sorry for him.
Oh, they treat him so badly, but
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
Hey, Tim, you remember that therapy we had to help us ignore Grandpa?
Sure I do. I'm a chicken.
I'm a chicken, Marge.
You see that you can see us talk about that more on episode 20.
Yes, that is the episode we actually discussed. One of the best episodes. And it includes that gag. Go back and listen to it.
So Homer has to go through his chores. The first one is to take out the hornet's nest. So he just shakes it up and puts it in Ned's mailbox.
Yeah, top work. Well done, Homer.
And then he has to fix the sinkhole, which just covers for the sandpit, and then Maggie.
Eventually it stops.
And then we get the iconic rooftop scene from the first trailer.
Reshingle the roof when Homer gets a hammer, the claw side of a claw hammer, caught in his eye. And Bart pisses himself doing the classic Bart laugh. And Homer, obviously, why you little, grabs him round the throat. Jesus.
It's like, I'll teach you to laugh at something that's funny. And then they start to have a dare contest with each other.
Bart
And so,
is dared to climb on the TV antenna by Homer, and Homer shakes it for an earthquake test.
Yeah. And then he falls, he's hanging onto like the steel girder, and he goes, "Aftershock!" They start shaking it more.
Flanders does this really amazing joke where he's like, "Hey, Homer, if your boy falls, won't he be a paraplegiarino?"
And they just both go, "Shut up, Flanders."
And Homer's like holding a hammer over Bart's fingers.
He goes, "Steady, steady." It just falls through the roof.
And Bart pisses himself again. Like
That's
that
amazing.
genuinely is 2 pages of notes just from the first, like, what is that, 2 scenes? I'm like, fuck me, this is a gag a second.
Honestly. So then we cut to Lisa trying to raise awareness for the environment, but she keeps getting turned away.
Isn't they were like, "You're the little girl who saved my cat." And she goes, "Springfield Lake," and then it just gets the door closed in her face.
And then we have like Milhouse perving on Lisa going, "You can talk to me about the environment all that you want."
He says something like, "She can canvas me anytime she likes."
Yeah. And then he goes, "I'm very passionate about the environment." Nelson just comes out of nowhere. He goes, "Say global warming is a myth."
We need more research. Who? You know what? We could have guessed that Nelson Muntz would turn into a right-wing lunatic.
Oh yeah, but
But
I think it was
then,
also just to prove a point to to Millhouse.
but then also he punches Milhouse for selling out his beliefs. So
And then this is when Lisa meets Colin, whose dad is not Bono. We need to stress that.
but
And
he,
obviously, she just develops a crush immediately.
yeah, he's Irish. He's talking about the environment. She swoons.
Then we cut to Marge reviewing the footage of Abe's freak out because comic book guy recorded it. And she's like, Epa, what does that mean? Like, I believe that's the sound that Sinestro made when Hal Jordan threw him in the vat of acid. Epa! In exchange for all that information, Marge gives comic book guy her pregnancy pants. It's like, I've never known comfort like this.
Hey, pregnancy pants. For the bigger dude as well. A bit of they've got a little soft bit at the front. Nice for your bump.
So we see that Homer and Bart are still doing a dare contest where Bart is shooting Homer with a BB gun while he's carrying bricks on his back. And we get a nice little Fox advertisement.
That's so clever. I remember seeing that in the cinema going, this is like exactly the way the Simpsons take the piss out of Fox, when obviously they used to be on Fox.
Yeah.
And they actually have a banner for I think it's a made up show, like Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity, that rolls across the bottom like it's the
Yeah.
news.
And then they just go, that's right, we advertise in movies now. So then Homer gives Bart the ultimate dare to skate to Krusty Burger and back. Naked.
Bart goes, girls might see my doodle.
Like, well then, I will brand you chicken for life. Every morning you'll wake up to good morning, chicken. And at your wedding, I'll sing ba 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 ba.
And while Homer's still talking, you just see Bart fly off in the background naked on his skateboard.
Ba.
We get another little what is that? A second homophobic joke in very short time?
What with Ralph going, I like men now?
Yep. It just
I'm gonna say like
I wouldn't say it's necessarily homophobic in that it's making fun of the gays, but it's using being gay as a cheap laugh.
true, but I think because it's Ralph, it somehow works.
Oh well. I can't I can't yay or nay these
Yeah.
points. You're more of an authority than me.
I mean that scene's used as like that one thing is just used as a meme where people like just go, hot person, I guess I'm gay now, kind of thing.
Fair enough.
But like I love
Agnes
how they
is
did.
sorry, Agnes has one of the best lines here, which is "Don't look where I'm pointing," and her finger just covers up Bart's crotch.
That was like I mentioned, like the creative use of censorship until they don't.
Oh, it's so good. This whole scene is so well timed and animated, where something's always covering Bart's crotch, like fortuitously timed cover-ups. Like there's a sprinkler, a frisbee, bubbles, flowers, and then there's that brilliant end where you go, "Oh, you're not going to see it." And then there's like a fence where only one panel is covering his bits, and then it inverts, and there's a whole wall except one strip which just shows you his dick.
This is a PG movie as well. I was shocked at the goal.
It's very crude. It's a very crudely animated doodle.
Yeah. So, as he's skating down the street, Wiggum just shoots out one of the tires,
Demanding he stop in the name of American squeamishness.
and he's just flying through the air. And there's this one more sensor where there's like, boys, we thank God for this bountiful penis.
Yeah,
There's just a single chip covering Bart's doodle.
Yeah, so Bart splashes face first on the window of Krusty Burger, and the Flanders family are all eating there. They must have left somehow during the dare competition.
Yeah.
And when he says bountiful penis, the boys both say, bountiful penis, amen.
I love my favorite thing. It's like Stu goes to like Bart's like, no one likes wearing clothes, but it's the law.
And they handcuff Bart to a post outside, don't they? as that's because they
Yeah.
want to get their lunch, so they want to arrest Bart, but he has to stay there.
And it's like, what if I get lonely? So you can't leave me out here. So don't worry, what a friend for you to play with. And it's Nelson just going, ha ha, ha ha. And he's clearly doing it for hours because then it's like it cuts to sunset and
And he's
he's
hoarse.
tired.
Yeah,
And then
and
his
then
mum shows up.
and she starts doing the laugh as well. So good.
Homer shows up and he's like, Bart's telling Homer to, like, tell the police you dared me to do it. It's like, well, what happens to me if I did it? He goes, you have to attend 1 hour parenting class. So he's goes, it was his idea. Who did it?
We've seen Homer attend parenting classes before. He doesn't like it.
No, he doesn't. So he gives Bart all his clothes except for his pants. And he goes, who am I, Tony Bahama?
And we get an iconic line, which I've definitely used before with my friends. Go on, Tim, do the honours.
Bart goes, this is the worst day of my life. And Homer goes, worst day of your life so far. Mwah. Iconic.
Anyone now who says anything is the worst whatever of their life, you say, so far. And
So
it's
far.
Flanders
go
gives
inside.
Bart spare trousers that he always carries just in case one of the boys has an accident.
Exactly. And Homer goes to Bart because Bart's going, oh, you're clearly not caring about me. He's like, what makes you think I wouldn't care about a pig wearing a hat?
And we get our first, I'd say, recycled joke from the show here. So Krusty's filming a commercial where he has to bite into the sandwich from Krusty Burger, and the second they finish filming, he spits it out. And they've used that joke before.
I love it because just like Krusty doesn't care about his own product.
No, he wraps it up and then he says to kill the pig. And Homer says,
Homer goes, you can't kill it if it's wearing people clothes.
which is Homer's like, Homer will eat tons and tons of meat, but if that animal is wearing people clothes, it's a no-go.
So then the pig runs up to Homer. They look each other in the eyes. Homer has a imaginary like flash, and it's the song where it goes, "I can't see me loving nobody but you."
I love that song.
So he decides to take the pig home with him.
For free, apparently. I don't see any transaction happen.
I think Krusty was just happy to get rid of it.
Yeah. Maggie's playing Baby Blast now, which I find is quite funny.
Yeah. Marge is there going, 1,000 eyes. What does that mean? And Abe goes, 1,000 is a number.
So yeah, Marge is fixated over Abe's fit, and
He's cracked the
Abe,
code.
Abe is being no help. And then Homer, again, another line I actually remember really, really well. Homer bursts into the kitchen and says, "Hey Marge, isn't it great being married to someone who is recklessly impulsive?" And she says, "Actually, it's aged me horribly."
It's like, wow, say hello to the newest Simpson. And he has the twisted tail.
And he brings the pig in, and Marge thinks that it's part of the omen. So one of the parts of the omen is twisted tail, obviously.
And she goes, Homer, they're doing the lady in the tram with a carrot.
And he makes the pig do an impression of Marge by pulling its tail so it squeals.
It's like, look, he does impression of you. It goes, but he also does me. He makes the pig burp. Marge laughs, says, ha, you smiled, I'm off the hook.
Homer has the pig stay in Bart's room, and he's giving it different hairstyles as Bart watches from the tree outside.
It's so stupid. I love it. And then, like, as Bart's about to like pull on his slingshot and hit Homer, him and Ned start talking, and he like offers to take Bart fishing. He goes, "Has Homer ever taken you fishing before?" And again, another iconic scene from one of the trailers where he goes, "You can't use a bug zapper to catch the fish," and he just drops it in, and it electrocutes all the fish in Lake Springfield. He goes, "Ooh, I think I'll have a nibble." And every time he like grabs it and bites into it, he just gets an electric shock.
Yeah, that is a good throwback scene. What I thought was quite a good idea there, where they use that as a trailer, is you don't realise that it's obviously not part of the plot.
Yeah.
It's just a bit like a Family Guy flashback style thing. Very funny.
So then Ned makes a delicious looking cocoa for Bart.
Oh, it looks so
And
good.
Bart like
Wafers and
grabs it, then
marshmallows.
runs away. Just like runs away downstairs and goes like, "Oh my god!"
He's got Bart's always had this. He's more than once before. They've had this idea that Bart's like a rat,
Yeah.
and he does his little rat-like movements here. Like he sneaks over, gets the cocoa, and like scurries down the tree. He's like, oh god.
So then Lisa starts gushing over Colin to Marge, while Marge is like cleaning the place, and she goes, and then during the conversation, Marge just like looks up and goes, "How did the pig tracks get on the ceiling?"
And we hear from the other room, Spider Pig, Spider Pig,
Spider
does
pig.
whatever a Spider Pig
Whatever a
does.
spider pig does. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a pig. Look out! He's a spider pig.
And Homer's literally holding the pig up to the ceiling so it can put his dirty hoof marks across the ceiling.
Okay, that's iconic. I think Spider Pig's one of those iconic things they ever did.
Yeah, that sticks in my head. Whenever I hear the original kind of campy 70s Spider-Man theme, I do think of that as well.
So we cut to Ned and Bart going fishing. Bart fails to catch fish and just like drops a fishing rod into the lake and immediately thinks Ned's gonna choke him.
And he does. I bet you they wish they hadn't put this in the movie now, but he does the strangle without actually being strangled, like as a
Yeah.
reaction. It's so funny.
And then Ned goes, "No, the best way to like support a child is give them a pat on the back." And Bart goes, "Oh." like oh, positive father figure.
I've never had this before.
As this is happening, the whole lake is getting polluted by literally everyone.
Yeah. We see
So
Krusty
he's,
pouring his flop sweat in. The
Yeah.
cat lady's washing her cats with a washboard. Mo dumps bottles and Barney into it.
So Lisa holds a town hall, gets distracted by Colin playing the guitar.
She tells everyone he's dreamy. And Meg
And
quickly
Quimby goes,
passes a motion.
"Agreed."
He passes a motion that Colin's dreamy.
So then Lisa realizes she's not getting through to everyone. So she spikes the drinking water with the water from the lake. And Mo's reaction is, "This is why we should hate kids."
Lisa should know better than this. She's fallen in horrible water before when she became the Lizard
Yeah.
Queen.
Yes. So Quimby goes, "This is serious, people. We're enacting cold black." And Lenny goes, "Black? That's the worst color there is." No offense, Carl.
And he says, "No worries, I get it all the time." And I was like, oh, that's another rough one, because it wasn't even that long after this they got the voice actor scandal. Was it like 8 years
Like
after?
10 years
7?
after, actually.
Was it really?
Like 10, yeah.
Still, it's another, like, there's 2 jokes within 5 minutes, I reckon, that they now regret because they just have changed the ways of producing the film or the TV show.
Yeah.
The newspaper headline is like, "Pushy
What's the
Kids
newspaper?
shames town."
Yeah. Which is true. It's what she did. So then, as they clean up the lake, Fat Tony and the mob are going to dump a body in the lake. And what did they say?
Yard trimmings, and they're going to have to put it in a trash compactor instead. And then when one of the other police is like, "Do you think that was a body, Chief?" Winger's like, "Did you not hear him? It was yard trimmings."
That one makes you a chief, Lou. You have to listen. So they put a barrier around the lake and they make it idiot-proof. And to test it, they use Cletus to try and throw something in the lake. He just keeps walking into the barrier.
I simply cannot. Oh, Cletus, I love you.
So Homer and Spider-Pig are watching TV and they're watching a Bumblebee Man where he kisses a horse. And Homer goes to the pig, "Don't get any ideas." And they both laugh. Then there's a pause. And Homer looks in the pig's eyes and says, "Maybe we should kiss just to break the tension." Homer, what is wrong with you?
I don't know. He's a fucked up man, isn't he? Really?
So Marge asks Homer, "What are you doing with the pigs' leavings?" And it turns out he's putting them in a silo, and he goes, "He filled the silo in 2 days. Well, I helped."
Which is worrying for both of their digestions because that silo is bigger than both of them combined.
Yeah. So Marge asks Homer to dispose of the waste properly. And she's like, "You can take Spider Pig with you." It's like, he's not Spider Pig anymore, he's Harry Plopper.
Oh, that kid, that pig has already had more names than fucking anyone. He's had more
So
identity crises than Chris Jericho. Jesus.
can't wait for the pig maker.
Oh,
So Homer is on his way to safely dispose of the donuts. No, not the donuts, of the waste. But Lenny calls up and says the health inspector went down to Lardland Donuts and found rats, so they're giving out free donuts. So he's like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" So he, in a panic, decides to dump the silo in the lake. And as he's going through, he's running down all the signs, and there's this mole man holding a sign that just says "You suck," and he runs him over.
did you notice when his phone rang what the themes his ringtone was?
What was it? Not Spider Pig?
No, it's the classic Nokia theme. The
Oh, yeah.
and that just reminds me of Trigger Happy TV. Don't know if you're old enough to have watched that, but fucking hell.
I know what's Sugar. Yeah. So as Homer dumps the silo into the lake, it pollutes the lake immediately.
Goes
And a
black,
big
yeah.
skull and crossbones come up and it goes, "Evil." He runs into the passenger seat. This goes, "Drive, drive, drive." And Spider Pig said, like,
Oh, right.
so he drives out again. And as that's happening, a squirrel is being chased by a badger. And to escape, the squirrel jumps into the lake and just emerges with 1,000 eyes.
I also thought that was a squirrel, and I swear later they actually say it's a chipmunk, and I was like, oh, that looks more like a squirrel to me.
Did they say chipmunk?
I'm
What's a
sure
squirrel?
I've got in my notes as a squirrel, and then I'm sure when the Russ is speaking to the president, I'm sure he says it's a
Okay, well,
chipmunk.
chipmunk, squirrel, doesn't
It's
matter.
too it's too
So,
it's too big to be a chipmunk. Chipmunks are tiny,
yeah. So
but they do
Bart and
say,
Ned
I'm
go
sure
for
they do.
yeah. So Bart and Ned go for a hike and they see all the different states that lead into Springfield.
Now, did you Google map this to see how far away they all actually are?
I didn't, but I'm guessing they're all really far away from each
Yeah,
other.
they're really far away from each other. They're like, it's not even nearly possible that Springfield borders these 4 states. Did you write down the states?
No, I didn't. Did you?
Ohio, Nevada, Maine, and Kentucky.
And while that's happening, they see the squirrel, and Ned just goes, "Thank you, Lord, for this weird creature. Good job."
And then what does Bart do?
Jab, 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 jab.
He jabs it in like 5 of its eyes.
And then the Environmental Protection Agency come and they say, "One more jab, and that's a federal offense."
We meet Russ Cargill,
Albert
who,
Brooks.
yeah, voiced by Albert Brooks, the voice of Hank Scorpio, who we discussed in episode 20 as well. It's
Yeah,
like,
who was, and we said in episode 20, Scorpio was going to be the villain.
apparently, they only did do that to keep it fresh for like new people who didn't remember Hank. I was like, well,
Yeah.
people who don't remember Hank can fuck off, all right?
But I will say, I like the character of Russ Cargill.
Yeah, I mean, he is Hank Scorpio if Hank Scorpio worked for the government instead of as an evil.
As they say, if Hank Scorpio went legit.
Yeah.
I love how to get into the Oval Office, like they do the retina scanner, and he has to scan all the eyes of the chipmunk.
Yeah, it takes ages.
And then we meet the president, who is not Rainier Wolfcastle, which would have been the obvious joke to make. It's actual Arnold, but it's still voiced by the same person who does Wolfcastle.
And it's also the same character model as Rainier Wolfcastle, who is
Yeah.
based on Arnold Schwarzenegger. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a joke that I think they didn't need to do. They could have just called him Rainier Wolfcastle, and anyone with half a brain
Yeah.
would have got the joke. Because obviously by this point,
Yeah,
Arnie was the governor of California.
Yeah, and everyone already knew Wolf Castle was a parody of Arnold. It's one of those jokes that I just think just didn't need to work.
No.
So Ross Cargill says, "Do you know why I joined the Environmental Protection Agency? Because I'm a rich man who wanted to give something back. Not the money, but something."
And he presents the president with 5 options that will all bring misery. He doesn't have to read them. Oh, he doesn't want to read them, sorry. He's like, I was elected to lead, goes, not to read.
Not to read. Number 3. And number 3 is just dropping a giant dome on Springfield.
Oh, it's so good. We see Martin so the dome comes down and sends Martin like flying off of a seesaw, and he splats into the dome, and it's so satisfying. The sound he makes is amazing.
Like, dong.
Yeah.
And then there's the indecisive man who's like, if I say I'm trying to find my leave, I'm alone. In, out. I never saw Venice. Splat.
And he gets killed by the dome. Apparently the Simpsons live right on the edge of Springfield as well, which is, Springfield is known for like changing layout, but yeah.
And what does Homer say once they see the dome? He goes,
right.
Dome!
Oh, yeah. I thought that was a bit on the nose. That's one of the jokes I was like, nah.
I love it. I think because it's too on the nose, I was like, perfect.
Nah, the next joke's better. Marge says the prophecy come true, and Abe says the crazy old man in church was right.
And then Frank is like, everyone, I've made a drill that can cut through anything, and it's right there on the other side of the dome.
The police open fire and they just get shot back. Like it bounces back at them.
All right, who's hurt? Enough of the attitude. So then Ross Cargill just appears on the TV. He's like, I'm the head of the EPA. Who? The Environmental Protection Agency. Come again? Look, I'm a man on a big TV.
This is where he says Springfield is the most polluted city in history.
And Krusty goes, drama queen.
He said, they say they're trapped like rats, but they're more trapped like carrots.
It's like, rats will be trapped this easily. You're more trapped like carrots. And then Lisa's like, no, but we all said don't pollute the lake. And Ross Cargill goes, well, someone didn't get the message. So Homer distances himself from Spider-Pig and goes, act natural.
Springfield gets taken off of all GPSs.
Up when you're right, nothing.
And there's a news report that says Trappuccino, which I thought was really funny.
Because it's so intense, it has its own segment and theme music.
Oh, yeah.
And they're saying like they're running out of like necessities, including Botox, and Kent's face just drops.
Yeah, the dome has put an end to life as we know it. This really reminded me of COVID. It was so weird. Like stocks running low on the shelf, everyone going a bit mad.
So Marge is outside, there's like knitting, dome, sweet dome.
Very good.
And she sees Maggie outside. She's like, huh? Like drags Homer out and it's like, look, wait, she's not there. It's like, no, look, Maggie's right here. This dome can play tricks on you if you're not careful. And then he just sees his reflection. It's like, I'm out of the dome.
And he's like runs away back towards the house, but the reflection obviously runs away from the dome. And he's like, see you. I can't remember what he says. It's like, I'm free.
It's like, all right, you leave your lives. He runs like, oh. But then we see that it's because Maggie is going through the sinkhole, which is why
just literally in and out of the dome. In and out of the dome. The police find the silo, and Ken Brockman says the vigilante justice isn't encouraged unless it gets results.
Which it will. It's like, Marge, no one watches this. What's that ominous glow in the distance? And you just see the entire town have immediately formed a mob, but they're going in the opposite direction. He goes, Marge, look, those idiots don't even know where we live. And they immediately turn around.
Lisa is angry, and Marge says she's a woman, so she can hold on to it forever. I was like, all right, lovely.
And then they're like, Homer, you need to go down to the pond. It's like, I will, but I'm afraid if they open the door, they'll go after you. He's like, no, we won't. We just want Homer. Maybe not you, but I get Grandpa. I'm part of the mob.
We get another movie reference here as well. I don't know if you noticed it.
What
So
was it?
when they're all breaking through the door and their hands are reaching through, it's an ode to Night of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah.
And Homer does the chainsaw noises, and then they all look
Steve
through.
Irwin got a chainsaw. Uh-oh.
And then Colin's outside with flowers for Lisa, and Carl sees him and goes, "Oh, let me get that for you," and he sets it on fire with a torch.
So Ned attempts to help them by like getting a board to get them over to the house, and as that's happening, the archery team are like getting their arrows ready, and Nelson goes, "I'm using a red arrow, so I know who I kill."
Good old Nelson.
And as they go across the board, Plopper's there, just like pushing the board, and Homer goes, "No, Plopper, if you do that, Daddy will die." He goes, pushes it.
Yeah, he hates Homer as well. Like fucking hell. But by trying to kill them, he inadvertently saves them from the arrows because they
Yeah.
fall just out of the line as he does it.
So they run into the car, then Marge's like, "Oh wait, I forgot something," runs into the house, grabs her wedding video, quickly does the dishes, and escapes the burning building.
And
then
the mob picks up the Simpsons car as they try to escape, and there is this really dark joke. There are 5 nooses hanging from Bart's tree where he's got the tree house, and one of them's smaller and has a pacifier on it.
And all their drawers just drop. Like, whoa.
I mean, this is like the Simpsons. It's obviously written by like a left-wing leaning writing team.
Oh yeah.
And Springfield is meant to be like a town of hicks, but somehow also in the north of America and whatever. But their reactions are so like backwards hick town.
Yeah. So they all escape into the treehouse except for Homer, who gets tangled up in the nooses. And he goes, "The word apology is thrown around these days, but when it comes from in here," and he gets a chainsaw thrown at him.
It's a full-on fucking like table saw. Those things weigh so much. They're so heavy. Like of all the objects they decided to draw in, I was like, all right.
So then they start to pull down the treehouse, and Maggie goes like, "Jump into the sandpit." So they all jump in after Homer sees this, and he goes, "So long, losers." Jumps in slowly, like goes down, starts flipping them off.
Yeah, and he gets caught.
And
It's
then
like
he gets stuck. He goes, "Uh-oh," and starts digging with his middle fingers.
There is another little gag there. As the tree's swaying when they're trying to put it down, Abe points a shotgun into the tree.
And as Homer's head is like still out there, like most like the top of his head still showing, "Clark Elliot," and they all just like get everything on him.
And then the house
after he goes in,
the house
it's 'cause
collapses
the
into the sinkhole.
because the police shoot at the sinkhole, and it causes the sinkhole to expand, and it just destroys the entire house.
Another horror movie reference. Come on, Tim.
Horror movie. It's not
The Poltergeist.
Oh yeah, good.
The way the house gets sucked into the
they destroy
ground.
the house at the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Wiggum just goes, "Well, they're China's problem now."
Colin tries to play to Lisa, but she can't hear outside the dome, so he writes the notes on the glass, and she sings it. Well, she sings it like in tune, and then we hear the tune actually being played in the background.
Yeah,
which was a nice little touch.
And as she's going like, "Oh, I will never be as happy again," Bartos goes, "Lisa's got a boyfriend that you'll never see again." She just KOs him.
She fucking clocks him, mate. He's done. Little sister finally knocking out Big Brother. Not even she's not even kicking the air in front of her, and if Bart happens to be there,
no, she's just swinging. So they run away, and the EPA show up. And Ross Cargill goes, "I want 10,000 tough guys. I want 10,000 soft guys to make the tough guys look tougher. And this is how I want them rage. Tough, tough, soft, tough, soft, soft, tough, tough, soft, soft, tough, soft." And then his subordinate goes, "Sir, I'm afraid you got mad with power." He goes, "Yeah, of course I have. Him try going mad without power. It's crazy. No one listens to you."
That's such a good joke.
It's like, it's amazing. So the Simpsons escape to a motel. Marge is being cornered by the police, but nope. They're just there to hook up with each other.
Yeah, the third, isn't it funny that these guys are gay joke?
Yeah. Marge's reaction is like, oh. It's like, oh, is weren't you friends with a gay man? Like, as we covered in homophobia in episode 20. Remember?
I
Listen
don't
to it.
think. I think she's more. I don't think she's shocked. I think she's relieved. I think she's like, oh,
Like, oh, thank God. She goes inside the motel room. She goes, but have you been drinking? I'm troubled.
yeah. Bart's smashed. He's been drinking whiskey.
So she chases him around the room trying to get a bottle away from him. He goes, I miss Flanders. There, I said it.
Homer's gone out, and he's just like, quick, let's leave. We can rebuild our lives while he's gone.
He goes, guys, what's the secret passcode again? She opens the door. Marge, so then Maggie just rises like the
And
fucking Undertaker.
he tries to be sweet to Marge, and she nearly falls for it, but the kids are like shaking their head, like, no, 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 no.
But he has a solution. He's like, I always worried that I would screw up our lives so bad we need to escape. But here's what we're gonna do. And he goes through his wallet and once he pulls it as a get out jail free card.
From Monopoly, yeah.
Which means
Then
he
he's
cheats.
Yes. And then he's got a picture of Michael Jordan with his head put on it.
Yeah.
She's so good. I like that they went obviously for Jordan as well. There's just like it's a red basketball uniform with the number 23
Yeah.
on it. It's like that, yeah. I see what they're doing there.
And then he pulls out the family solution. It's a poster of Alaska.
I can't start a new life on on my own, and I really come to like you
Come
guys.
to like you guys. Well, they fall for it, but they realize they got to win money. So he's like, so they go to a carnival the next day.
Oh no,
And it's free tries for
there's another great line before that. When Marge agrees to it, Bart says, Mum, you just bought another load of crap from the world's fattest fertilizer salesman.
I'll teach you for ruining this special moment. But they go to so Homer goes to conquer the Ball of Death, where he has to ride a motorcycle around this massive like steel ball. And it's 3 tries for $10. The moment he gets on the bike, he immediately falls down. Yeah, that counts as a
counts.
try. So then the second 2 attempts he fails because he gets to the top and just falls. And the guy goes, I'll tell you what, I'll give you another one because I like seeing you hurt yourself.
And Lisa tells Homer some science. You can't slow down at the top. You've got to speed up. It's the Coriolis effect, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. Because this one is the scariest. But he does it. He does it. He wins the truck. And the guy goes, my wives are going to kill me. And he's staying Siamese twins.
the PC term now, Tim, is conjoined twins, but they are Asian, so they're going for the joke.
Yeah. That's totally why I said it like that. Back in Springfield, they're now experiencing blackouts in which Mo gets robbed twice.
It's
like
so good.
Like
They're only
booze.
They're only 37 days in, mate. We did COVID for fucking months. Come on.
In all fairness, we didn't have rolling blackouts.
No, but we did have like no supplies and.
That's true. We had to fight for toilet paper. It was not a fun time. But then we go to the gas station where the Simpsons are, and there's a wanted poster of them.
This
So
is
then
such a
Marge is
good.
trying to like get stuff off the counter while make sure the clerk is not looking at it. And she goes, we need razor blades. He turns around like, oh no, we don't. I forgot. We're European.
And then while Marge distracts him by saying we need jerky, which is the other counter, Bart draws on the poster and he makes him look super wacky. He gives Homer like a tash and a quiff.
Yeah.
Marge with big teeth and like 4 times the hair. Maggie with long hair. Bart with an eyebrow and Lisa with an eye patch. And he laughs evilly and wanders off. And then we see why he's laughing evilly because there's a family who look like that.
The clerk goes, oh my god, there they are.
That is from another movie called Wrongfully Accused by Steve Martin.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a bit like a Steve Martin gag, isn't it?
Yeah. We cut back to Springfield, and Mr. Burns has all of the electricity. And so
This line.
Dr. Hibbert and Apu are trying to peel to Mr. Burns. And he goes, "Ah, for once, the wish right man has all the power."
Yeah, that's never happened before, has it, Burnsy?
He goes, "Preach to me, make me your brother." And Wigan and Hibber, they're getting through to him. But then Apu goes, "All our answers mean nothing. Just look in your heart and you'll find the answer." And even Smith is going, "No, no." And then, of course, Burns releases the hounds.
There is a great joke where they nearly get him by saying, "We're supposed to be executing a criminal tomorrow." That nearly gets him.
So they make it to Alaska, but as they're going through like all the oil like companies, Homer's like, "Oh, this isn't like look like Alaska at all." Puts the poster on the windshield and just causes them to drive off a cliff. And
Fucking
he goes, "Oh,
idiot.
at least my poster. At least my poster didn't get torn." Goes and it's like, "Oh no, it's the actual window," and Alaska looks idyllic. He gets to like the border control, like, "Welcome to Alaska. Here's $1,000." And he goes, "We give every resident in fact, do your companies allow us to pay every resident $1,000 as they ravage our state's natural beauty."
And Homer says, "I'm home."
Hugs the guy.
Homer's
So
out
Bart,
collecting firewood,
yeah,
and Bart is creating
goes,
avalanches by clapping. It's so good.
and then Homer goes, "Ah, my boy loves Alaska so much he's applauding it. Lisa, why aren't you applauding? Clap for Alaska."
And she does it, and there's a massive avalanche.
And then he goes,
But it like
it's
rolls
perfect."
Homer into the house, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like, me and you separated by the kids by a wall of snow. And they basically have a Disney scene.
Yeah, it's Cinderella. It's literally another
Yeah.
homage. Cinderella. All the woodland creatures help them undress, and like they pull Margie's clothes off, and she's in this like slinky number, and then they try to pull Homer's off, and they can't even lift it.
So they have to get like a hawk in to like do it.
Yeah.
And then they come, and then as Homer and Marge begin to do the nasty, literally all the animals look horrified.
Yeah, they're like,
So they get to day 93 under the dome. And this is when everyone starts to basically cause a riot.
The book club and the Alcoholics Anonymous start screaming and shouting because they're out of coffee,
Yeah.
and they all start like attacking the dome. Drederick Tatum does this really great joke. He starts like punching it, and then he goes for below the belt, but he checks if there's a referee first. So he's like punching it head high, looks over his shoulder, and then when he sees no one, he goes low. So good.
Speaking of Jedrick Tatum, because this is recent news for us, the Mike Tyson Jake Paul match.
We might have to do if this goes out on Netflix and we don't actually have to pay extra for it. We might have to cover this because it's so stupid. Like I am so up for us covering this.
No, we are covering it. I am like, it's stupid in every way.
It'll be like
Have you seen
a
how
20-minute bonus episode. I don't think either of us are very au fait with boxing, but oh my god, it
but
looks
have you
dumb
seen the
as
way they
fuck.
signed the contract?
No.
It's literally a T-shirt that Mike Tyson's wearing.
Like
we
the Pauls
should
the
say we
Pauls have been
no experience.
the Pauls have been accused of rigging fights before. I'm really interested to see this.
Oh no. Like, I have no like care for boxing. I didn't watch it when like Logan Paul boxed Floyd Mayweather. I'm just interested because it's Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Mike Tyson is known for being a bit wild. I mean, the dude got his face tattooed. He bit someone's ear. Like, he's been parodied beyond belief in The Simpsons.
With Dredrick
Fuck.
Tatum.
Yeah.
Have you heard the Mike Tyson story about like what his pre-match ritual was?
No. I'm worried.
He would cry because he knew the pain he was about to inflict on his opponent.
Wow.
He's like, "I don't want to do this," and he was crying about it.
If you want to see like the damage boxing does to the brain, like look at that. Look at there's a British boxer and he's like a bit mad as well. What's his name? I just had his name in my head and it's gone. He's got the speech impediment.
Oh, I know who you're on about. Fuck.
He's been on Gogglebox recently, like with his son, and he's like, "Would
Yeah.
you like a sweetie?" It's like he's like presents himself as like posh and fashionable, and he used to be a boxer. What is his name? I see his face in my fucking mind. Anyway, like if you don't believe boxing damages the brain, then
Yeah. But we go back to the riot, and Ralph blows bubbles into the dome, and one gets bounced back. He goes, ah, blowback.
yeah, he gets a bubble pop in his eye. Chris Eubank is that boxer's name.
We got it.
Didn't even Google it. I was just sitting there going, "Come on, brain, you can do this."
So as this is all happening, as everyone's attacking the dome, a crack forms in it, and Russ is going to the president, going, "If we do this, there'll be hearings, investigations." And the president goes, "Oh no, I have to go back to making family comedies."
Hey, Kindergarten Cop is a banging film.
So Russ presents the 5 options again and goes, "You don't need to read them this time. For ambiguity, I'll do it. You'll know nothing." And the president goes, "No, I need to know what I'm approving." But Russ basically tricks him into picking one.
And then he actually before picking number 4, which is the one Russ wanted to pick, he actually picks all the other numbers first.
He goes, "I pick number 3. You can't pick number 3. Okay, I pick number 2. No, you can't pick number 2. Okay, 6. There is no 6. 2, double it. 4, as you wish, sir."
And it's blow up Springfield.
So
This
we
guy's
then
really
cut
got a
back
beef
to
with Springfield.
Yeah, he does. We cut back to Alaska, where they're watching an ad for the new Grand Canyon, and it's a Tom Hanks cameo.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
My favorite line is, "The US government has lost some of its credibility, so it's borrowing some of mine."
Hey, you got to borrow it from someone with an abundant source.
Tussle my hair, Mr. Hanks.
Yeah, there's going to be a new Grand Canyon south of Shelbyville and east of Capital City, and they're literally the only 2 adjoining places we know about Springfield. Like from the previous
where
episode.
Springfield is. It's like it's where no it's where no one ever was or ever will be.
The Simpsons want to stop Springfield being blown up, but Homer's not as keen.
Like, screw Springfield. They chased us with pitchforks and torches at 4 in the afternoon.
Bart wishes Homer was Flanders, and he's drawn Flanders features on Homer's pictures, and he just starts doing it in his face like, "Howdy doodly, howdy doodly."
Howdy doodly. So Homer storms out and presumably goes to their version of, like, what's it called? Like, Eskimo.
Before that, though, Marge, like, Uno reverses Homer, and she gives the exact speech Homer did to convince her to go to Alaska, but he's like, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." Such an arsehole.
Classic Homer. So Homer goes to the tavern. He plays Grand Theft Walrus.
Great. That's top. And it's at their version of Moe's, which is called Eskimo.
Yeah. So Homer goes back to the house. He sees that the family have left. And Marge leaves a videotape where she basically says, "I don't know how I can defend your actions anymore. Blah, blah, blah. This will be the last time you see us. And to show that I'm being serious about it, I've taped this over a wedding video." And then it transitions, and it's their first dance as a married couple together.
Yeah.
I was going to say with the classic, "Why do birds suddenly appear?"
Which is what Marge wanted for their doorbell.
Yeah. And it was the first song that pops in Homer's brain when he first saw Marge.
Yeah. A couple of little references back to that.
Yeah. So Homer runs out into the snow. He falls onto a little bit of ice that separates. Then it separates again into a broken heart. And it says, "To be continued." Immediately.
And we get... sorry, go on.
I was going to say, a shaman saves Homer from being eaten by a polar bear.
Did you get this reference? You must have got this reference.
There's a Is it?
It's a reference. So the polar bear is over a passed out Homer, and then in the background you see a shadowy figure making a mad noise. It's A New Hope.
That was a reference to A New Hope?
It's 100% a reference to A New Hope. When Obi-Wan Kenobi scares off the Sand People.
In all fairness, every time I've seen this, I never just thought it was a reference. I just thought, oh no, Homer's about to die.
No, but like if you can look at her body and look at the way they shade her out, it looks exactly. Yeah, it looks exactly like it.
As this mysterious person is dragging Homer away, we cut to the train that the rest of the family are on. Bart's rummaging through people's luggage, puts on a bra on his head, and he does his Mickey impression. I'm the mascot of an evil corporation who now owns The Simpsons.
Yeah, little did he know. There's also like that's also very similar to like the South Park Mickey Mouse voice.
Oh, but South Park do it much worse.
Well, I was once when I in an old job of mine was in working in a shop, and me and my friend Reese, we were before we opened, we were on the second floor, and we were just doing stupid voices. And Reese could do a really good like South Park Mickey. So he's there doing I think even at one point was like, I'm the head of an evil corporation. I'm there doing fucking Mario, like it's a me, and we're just being stupid. And this old woman has just stood behind us. We're like, oh, hello.
See, I do Mickey, but I do it to annoy my friend. Like,
Oh, you know what? I do Mickey as well, and I did it to try and entertain my nieces and nephews, and not one of them give a shit. I'm like, oh, what voice am I doing? They're like Mickey Mouse, and I'm like, great, thanks. They don't care.
no, I do mine, but I do it because I like to creep up my friend. I do Mickey doing dirty talk.
Oh no, all I can really do is like, hey pal, huh?
Go, oh, you're a cute one, ain't you? Oh, take off your pants.
That really reminds me of the creepy old dude from Family Guy. I've got another story for you. Me and two of my friends, sorry. We were getting a bus down to Devon. Our full friend had moved down to Devon with his family, and we were getting a National Express down there. And this bus was fucking empty, man. There was us and maybe 8 other people, and I'm talking a massive coach, like no one on there. And about 4 or 5 stops in, I can't remember where we were. So the back of a coach has 3 seats. And so me and my friend Joe were sat at either end with leaving the middle gap because it was so empty. Then our friend Tom sat in the 2-1 in front, like the row in front of us on his own. And then this old dude just gets on the bus, and despite there being 12, 13 empty double seats, decides to sit next to Tom. Now, we are next to the toilet, and I don't know if that played a factor in why he wanted to be so close. But he fell asleep. And there's me and my friend Joe whispering in our friend Tom's ear, it's a nice muscular throwing arm you got there. And just fucking this dude all the way down to Ilfracombe in Devon sat next to my friend Tom, and we have no idea why. Like hours on this coach. Yeah.
Poor bastard. So as they're on the train, we see that the conductor is actually a robot that's listening to conversations, and the NSA is spying on them. And as one of the people hears what they're saying, he goes, "Hey everybody, I found one. The government actually found someone they're looking for."
Oh, it's so good.
So the shaman goes to Homer like, we need to do the ancient art of throat singing. And they start doing throat singing. It's like, why do I need to do this? Until you have an epiphany. Like, okay, what's an epiphany?
And when they start going, do you notice what the dance that Homer does is for a bit?
He does so many. Doesn't he do the robot at one point?
Yeah, and then he goes into the Pulp Fiction bit, the cross the eyes.
Oh, yeah. So Homer has his epiphany where he realizes that, he needs to love other people. And in order to save himself, he has to save Springfield. And so he goes, I know what I need to do. I need to go down, save Springfield, my family, and lose 10 pounds. Thank you, boob lady.
All that's to the music of Spider Pig as well, just in the background.
Yeah. Hans Zimmer orchestrated version of it.
Oh, it's so good.
So the family gets to Seattle, but the EPA is already there waiting for them. And Marge goes, Ross Cargill, do you think he saw us? The whole EPA just swarms in. He goes, yes, I did. We get another scene from the trailer with the mush.
So yeah, Homer's got some sled dogs, and he's like over whipping them. They do like a little ET thing where they fly over a gorge, and they decide when they're trying to rest.
Jump, land, rest.
And they maul him, deservedly so. And what does he say as they're mauling him?
It's like, oh, why does everything I whip leave me?
And he goes, that's my whipping arm.
So he's walking through the snow, and he's like, and he's arguing with himself, and then he
Yeah.
gets like a vision of the shaman, and he goes, "Oh, what? I don't know which way do I go," and she just basically swings her chest
In the
in the right
direction,
direction.
yeah.
He goes, "Much obliged."
So he walked from Alaska. So where the fuck is Springfield?
Who knows? I mean, considering how massive it is, it seems. So he gets to Springfield, and you think he's looking through binoculars, but it's actually his eyes.
He's just
And
using his hands.
and he's zooming and like zooming out. It's amazing.
And we hear saxophone music, and he says, "Lisa, cut that racket out." And he's just like, "Oh, Lisa."
So he hatches a plan to save his family. And what does he do, Bobby?
He puts up a SOP sign in front of the van that's carrying them.
Can you just say that again more clearly, just for the listeners at home?
A SOP, SOP sign, not stop, in the style of a stop sign. And what is it the guy says? He's like, "We can't stop at every SOP, yelled, and one vey sign we see." Homer drives a wrecking ball crane, and he swings it so hard, and it just tips the van, which could have killed his family. Idiot.
Yeah.
And there's like a little dink, and Homer's like, "Oh no, they're in the van." Like, "I think that was them off," and Marge's like, "I hope it's okay." And then the wrecking ball.
It just comes back and just smashes into Homer. So he just swings into various things like a fork sign, a cliffside. Then he literally starts swinging between a rock and a bar called the Hard Place.
A hard place, yeah. So he's literally going between a rock and a hard place. Do you get it, Tim? Do you get it? Do you get it, Tim?
Oh, I get it.
And that was in one of the trailers as well.
Yep. And there was actually a Flash game based on that where you just swing Homer between the two. So then the EPA used sleeping gas on the family because Bart's like scratching his chains on the visor.
So don't do that. You'll scratch your shackles.
Like I hope I do. So they wake up in Springfield. The whole town is destroyed except for the school.
And Bart's like, "God damn it."
So then they see Mo, who's like covered, like he has like a stop sign.
No, he's got a traffic cone.
Traffic cone on his head. He's like wearing a sleeping gown with like grenades on him.
He's got a bandolier on, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the town went a bit crazy, but I am now the emperor of Springfield. And then he throws a Molotov at him and goes, "No, you're not." And Mo just immediately catches, goes, "Yes, I am."
Throws it back. And you hear Barney going, "Okay."
Hail Emperor. So Cargill appears on the screen. I keep writing Cargill, and I keep envisioning Jade Cargill.
I wrote him as Russ, actually. I just got Russ in all my notes.
Now Cargill is imagine Jade Cargill.
Yeah, just like
the EPA.
Jade Cargill could lift that dome on her own. She's ridiculous.
Exactly.
For anyone who doesn't know, Jade Cargill is a very ripped professional wrestler. She is ridiculous.
So Cargill says they are commenced with Operation Soaring Eagle, which involves blowing up the town.
Yes. And the bomb gets lowered through like a little circular gap right in the top of the dome.
Yeah.
Like, I've written here in my notes, like 15-minute time is so cruel. Like, give everyone 15 minutes to basically have a mental breakdown. Just blow them up. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. So Homer somehow gets a disguise. And he's like, "I have an order for the president. It says to release the town immediately." He just hands it to the guy on the leaf. So obviously that doesn't work. So he punches the guy out.
So
and
I love
like
that
another plan.
I love that he manages to get like that uniform, but can't get a piece of paper.
And I love like on the other leaf that details his plan. It says "Return Maitre D costume."
Yes, so it's actually a maitre d costume. Yeah.
So he figures out how is he going to get into the Springfield. So he runs to the tool shed. He sees a jetpack. He's like, "Aha! Of course." No, it grabs the super glue next to it
And sticks it on his hands.
And it's like, this is one of my favorite jokes. But like, I always just keep quoting it to myself. Like, "Time to show the world that Homer Simpson has cojones." Just grabs his crotch and obviously got the super glue, gets stuck
to his trousers. Yeah, he's just pulling at it like, "Ow!" He then climbs the dome.
And while that's
Uh,
happening, the residents of Springfield are like, if we like distract Cargill, we could actually climb up the rope and get out. It's like, who'll be dumb enough to lay down their lives while everyone else escapes? And Cletus just walks in like, well, my time to shine.
and I love that in this time there's a really good joke that Marge does. And Marge doesn't get many good jokes, but Lisa says she wants to find Colin, and Marge says, "Doomsday is family time, honey."
And there's another bit where Marge goes, "It's time like this. I wish your father is here." And Bart goes, "Yeah, me too. His fat ass will shield us all from the explosion."
Cletus distracts Russ by doing the thumb trick, isn't it? Where he's like,
Yeah,
"Hey," like pulls his thumb off. He's like, "Hey, you want to know how I did that?" And Russ says,
generations of
"4 generations of
inbreeding.
inbreeding."
He goes, "Oh." So as the town is climbing up, Homer gets to the top, and the literally town going, "I hear birds. I smell fresh air. I taste freedom." And Homer just slides down the rope, knocking everyone down, and then the bomb.
Dooming them all again. I love also that like the bomb's being held up by a helicopter. Like that's the dumbest thing in the world.
I know.
And why is it not just tied to the top?
And then as Homer gets in, he's like, waits for Homer do good? And Buzz goes, "Actually, doom us all." So Homer, in his like rage, kicks the bomb. It has 8 minutes left. He kicks the bomb. It now has 4.
Just halves straight away. Comic book guy said like laments his life collecting comic books, and he's like, "Life well spent."
So
Good. I'm glad he enjoys his. I'm glad he's proud of how he spent his life.
yeah. So the Flanders family are at church, and Ned goes, "Remember, we meet Jesus. Remember to call him Mr. Christ."
Did you
And
again? I pay attention to this. Did you see what the sign said outside the church?
What did it say?
"We told you so."
And then my favorite, I think it's Rod, the young, no, or Todd, the younger one. I never know. But he goes, "Will Buddha be there too?"
I think Rod is the youngest, but it's just
Yeah.
unusual because normally when you have kids, you say the oldest, you say it in age order, but they call them
Yeah.
Rod and Todd. But I think Rod is the younger one. I think it's the wrong way around.
Yeah. And he just goes, "Will Buddha be there too?" No. But Bart enters and he goes, "I just want to spend my last minutes with a dad who actually loved me." So
And Rod and Todd aren't keen. They're like,
They're so Homer thinks he spots Marge in the distance. He runs and just gets slapped by the Epiphy.
the Epiphy. Love it.
And he's
The
like,
bomb-
"But what
the
do
bo-
I do?"
I was gonna say the bomb disarming robot's there as well, but it can't take the pressure, so it shoots itself.
And Wiggum goes, "Yeah, oh, he was talking about it, but I don't think he was serious."
Yeah, that's the usual joke with the Simpsons is he was days away from retirement, so they changed it up there.
Yeah. So the Epiphy basically tells Homer, do the circle of death again with the bomb
Yeah.
and the dome.
It lights up a motorbike. Yeah.
And then he just like slips the Epiphy a $10 bill, goes, "Buy
Oh no, he doesn't.
nice."
It's a $1. It's definitely a $1 bill. He tips the tree for giving him an epiphany. He tips it $1.
So Homer goes to do the ball of death and asks Bart to join him. Bart's like, "No, I don't want to do it, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "You can hold the bomb." Then Rod goes, "I wish Homer was my father." And then Ned goes, "I wish you didn't have the devil's curly hair."
There's a couple of other jokes on that way. Abe's like, "Homer, what are you doing now?" He's like, "Risking my life to save people I don't like for reasons I don't understand. Gotta go." Nelson's dad's there as well, which I find really funny. So he's still in Springfield.
Oh, yeah. So as
Martin beats up loads of bullies, which is so
snaps
good.
on the bullies. He's like, "Oh, this was amazing. No wonder you guys keep doing this." So as Bart and Homer are driving up the dome, they have like Homer's having a moment of realization, like, "Oh yeah, it's been bad parenting and it's a cycle of abuse." And then Marge goes, "What's that? I throw the damn bomb."
Yeah, just going around with seconds left.
So Bart almost slips. He's literally grabbing onto all of Homer's heads.
And he like plucks out.
Like Homer grabs him by the hand. Bart throws the bomb through the hole. There's a little
Otto
moment
has
where he
no idea what's going on, and he's literally smoking a bong. Like it's
Yeah.
just for a PG, there is somewhat like he's got a bong. He's literally got a
Oh
bong.
yeah, they don't care anymore. And the bomb makes it out, it lands outwards and it blows up and the dome explodes.
And they ride the bike down like the giant shattered pieces of glass, like proper like an
Yeah.
action movie, like from fucking Deadpool or Spider-Man or something.
Yeah. They ramp off the R of Springfield and then they jump Springfield Gorge. They almost don't
Oh,
make it.
this is so good. The Springfield Gorge joke is amazing. Go on.
They almost don't make it, but then Bart pulls out his trusty slingshot and literally slingshots them back up and they actually make it.
And what's at the top of the gorge?
It's the ambulance that Homer was in.
The ambulance from the one of the really early episodes where Homer tries to jump the gorge, and then the ambulance
Yeah.
that picks him up crashes straight into a tree, and he falls back down the gorge, and it's still there. They never moved it.
So as the rest of the residents are like in Springfield recognize it's amazing no one was hurt and a giant shard just lands on Dr. Nick.
He says, "Bye, everybody."
Hi everybody. So Homer and Bart they're just like looking over and Cargill shows up with a shotgun and Homer goes, "Ah, we meet at last, whoever you are."
Bart stops Russ by saying, "If he kills Homer, he won't know where the treasure is buried." He's like, "What treasure? The treasure of I'm a wiener."
I'm a wiener. And then of
Russ,
course
this is
Maggie
where I
saves him.
noticed. This is where I really noticed that Russ's hairline is weird. Like his head bulges out, but his hair follows it. And I've only just noticed it at this point. Like, oh my god, that character model is
What?
weird.
Well, everyone has weird headlines in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like, where does Bart and Lisa start and begin and end? Like,
Oh, that's so funny in the episode with Malibu Barbie or Malibu Sin.
Yeah.
What do they call it? What's it called? Malibu Shelley. And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you all have terrible hair from a design perspective."
Ah. So Maggie saved Homer, as you know she is one to do.
Maggie's malevolent, man. She smashes Russ with a rock.
Did you hear what Homer said to Maggie?
What a great little accident you turned out to be. That's a top joke. That is a top
So
joke.
Bart and Homer ride back into town. Milhouse tries to convince Lisa that Colin is dead.
Oh, it's so dark.
Colin shows like, I'm just keeping her warmed up for you here. Bart runs into Santa's little helper. It's like, where were you? It's like, I did things those dogs should do. They will haunt me forever.
So I was watching this with subtitles on to make sure I got everything. And I was
Yeah.
like, that would have been so much. It comes up, and it comes up in the same style as the subtitles on Disney. And I would have really loved that to have been a hidden joke.
I think in the theatrical version, though, the actual subtitles do appear on screen as well.
No, they
As,
do.
like-
So I turned the subtitles off and went back to check, and it does still come up. I was like, that would have been better if it was a hidden joke only for people watching the subtitles.
yeah, yeah,
Like
But it was
Simpsons
great.
Simpsons are known for that kind of thing.
yeah. So then Homer picks up Marge. They drive off into the sunset. Best kiss of your life so far. And we cut to the final rooftop joke, which is
So they're rebuilding the
nailed-
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the
And then
roof,
he goes,
Bart gives Homer
"Steady,
goggles.
steady."
Yeah.
And then he puts the nail in his thigh and just runs across.
We end with Bart screaming laughter,
Yeah.
almost as we
And-
started.
Yeah. And that's the Simpsons movie.
It is. There's a couple of cool bits in the credits, though. So one of the cool things the credits does is for every voice actor, they've got little pictures of all the characters they do.
Yeah, that
blew
blew
my
my mind when I first saw it.
Poor Yardley Smith. She only does one. She literally just does Lisa. And Yardley Smith has got a podcast that I've listened to one episode of. But her voice is just Lisa's voice.
Yeah.
I think she pitches it up like a half a tone, and that is it.
Yeah, it's literally just Lisa.
We get a little cutaway to Smithers telling Burns that everything has been stolen. And Smithers, he says to Smithers, Burns says to Smithers, I don't believe in suicide, but it might cheer me up a bit if you did it whilst I'm watched, which is one of the most evil things he says.
Yeah.
There's also, in the voice acting, I thought Nancy Cartwright did Martin, but no. We get another little Tom Hanks moment at the end. Did you watch this bit?
I didn't know.
So in the credits, there's another little Tom Hanks joke where he says, "Hi everybody, it's Tom Hanks saying, if you see me in public, please leave me alone." Yeah, and it scrolls down like it does at the beginning, and the Simpsons are watching the credits, and Bart has been holding in a pee since the dome got dropped.
Yeah.
And then we get Maggie saying, "Sequel?" And that is the true end of the movie.
And we never got a sequel. We got 14 more seasons, but we didn't get a sequel.
Yeah, they promised that as well. They've definitely mentioned it more than once.
Yeah, I think it's such a big undertaking for them to do because it's like since The Simpsons is constantly an ongoing thing, they'd literally probably have to like pause a season or like
To write it, yeah.
yeah.
Just bring back the classic writers. Just pay like Conan O'Brien to come back and write it.
Yeah. I mean, they literally got some of their best writers of this. They didn't get Conan on this because obviously he was doing the talk show at the time. But
Yeah.
Conan's
Conan's one of the top writers.
Yeah. Oh, he was one of the best. But I don't think I need to ask you what you think of this movie because we just spent like an hour and a half discussion over it.
Yeah, I love this movie. What I love about the Disney Plus version is it's got the DVD extras on it as well. Did you watch any of them?
No, I didn't.
So there's a few deleted scenes. After we get a thing back in the dome where it's like 93 days into it, they go to trash the DMV, but they all wait in the queue because it's the DMV. And then when Selma goes, next, they all rush the counter. And Sideshow Mel has always... He hates the fact that he's got corrective lenses needed on his license. So he changes that in their system. And then Barney says, I'm changing my high colour to hazel. We get an extra scene with Mo being the emperor. And it says they were a dystopia, then a utopia, and then an autopia. And there was... The autopia is like a picture of cars. I'm like, I don't know what that is. It must be a reference to the cars, like Disney movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Then he says, many dead, I'm afraid, and many others also dead. There's also scenes with an original Russ Cargill design. It's not as good. I'm glad they went with the other one.
Yeah.
Homer gets a lift in the back of a sausage truck halfway from Alaska, so he doesn't walk all the way apparently. And obviously the guy checks in the back and all the sausages are gone.
Yeah.
We get a news report of Apu profiting from the lack of supplies. And they all like call him like a gouger. He's like, why can't you just be happy for me? And there's a baseball game where the fielder goes to get the ball and he just hits straight into the dome.
Amazing.
There's also a bit of an alternate ending where just to the left of the house being built, you see Santa's Little Helper and Spider Pig rebuilding Santa's Little Helper's doghouse, but also the mutant chipmunk is helping them.
Aww.
Yeah, so there's some good deleted content. There's... Like, the Simpsons DVDs have a fair few good deleted scenes.
Yeah.
But, yeah. They're not always completely animated, but this one was. These all were.
That's good. I feel like they thought, well, since we're adding deleted scenes, let's just do it.
Yeah, well, it's a movie. You got to have deleted scenes.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think this is a fantastic movie.
The best example of a TV show becoming a movie.
Absolutely.
I can't think of another one that even touches it.
No, not at all. I think it's just...
And if you disagree with us, comment. Tell us. if there is another movie.
Respond.
Hey.
We won't respond.
We respond when people actually ask questions. There's some nice comments on there that aren't questions, so why would we respond?
Yeah.
Hey,
if you disagree, I'm not going to agree. I'm not going to challenge you.
I might.
I'm lazy.
I might argue with you.
But if you receive a comment, you know who it was.
Yeah, definitely me.
Well, Bobby, what is my required reading for the next episode?
Timothy, have you ever worked in any form of customer service?
Online customer service, yeah.
Did you hate it because of dealing with the general public?
Yes.
Have you heard of an Australian... Sorry, Matt, I'm going to do that the whole time. An Australian sitcom that originally started on YouTube called Rostered On.
No, I have not.
Rostered On, Australian sitcom. First series is all on YouTube. Second series, it was bought by Netflix and put on there.
Oh.
There is a pilot episode. Yeah. The pilot episode is technically canon, but also slightly weird and doesn't line up. So don't watch that. Cool. I will just explain what happens in the pilot because it's not worth watching because it's weird. And I hate when they use the pilot as the actual first episode and then change shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate that. I hate that. They did it in one of the other things we covered in the past, Jonathan Creek. Anthony Head is
Yes.
replaced. And no, let's not do that. Let's just. We'll watch from what they call episode 1.
Okay.
And we can all relive our hell that is working customer service.
Okay. So, how many episodes am I watching?
Episodes 1 to 4, they're about 20 minutes each. Some are less than 20, actually. Some are like 17 or 18.
Okay, sounds good. I can't wait to relive the trauma.
Oh, yeah. Come with me. Let's go down fucking memory lane of trauma.
Well, in the meantime, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow me on all social media at the Tim Martini. Bobby, where can they follow you?
B Davies _creative on all the things, X and Instagram. You'll see some work going up on there. Purpose Wrestling, Mighty Pro Wrestling, anything that I cover tends to go through there. And follow Purpose Wrestling. Purpose Wrestling on everything, or Wrestle Purpose on X because some other prick has stolen the handle. I'm tempted to like offer them money to get that handle back.
to delete their Twitter.
Yeah.
And if you want to follow this whole thing we got going on here, we have loads of social media, so we're gonna go through all of them now because we have too many. We have Twitter, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Threads, all at CC Society Pod. We are on Reddit at user/CC Society Pod. We have a Gmail at ccsociety@gmail.com. You can follow us on Spotify if you're watching us, and if you're listening to us, we're on YouTube, where you can come and subscribe to us.
Yeah,
I got them all.
No, you missed
Facebook.
One. Yeah, which
Facebook.
is Facebook /CC Society Pod. I've set that up properly.
Yeah. we're literally everywhere, so come hang out. We
want some more. Yeah, we want some more interaction. We want to chat about all the stuff we talk about and other stuff. Give us suggestions if you think there's something that neither of us might have watched that we should watch. Do that as well. I don't know who's going to host it, but we'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out. Well, until next time, I've been Tim Martini.
And I'm free. All right, I promise.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.